Hey friends, we are at part 3 of this episode on mathematical physics. In the last part, I left you with two problems. One problem was find what iota A dagger minus A is. The answer is option A, Hermitian. I hope you got it right. So this is how you solve it. We'll consider that iota A dagger minus A to be equal to B, and then we'll find B dagger. B dagger will be the entire thing conjugate, this Hermitian adjoint. Then 2 points you have to remember here is I dagger is equal to minus I, and A dagger, the whole dagger, is equal to A. So solving all that, you'll get that B dagger is equal to B. So that is a property of Hermitian matrix. So this entire thing, iota A dagger minus A, is Hermitian. In the next problem, we needed to find the inverse of the unitary matrix A e raised to I alpha, B C e raised to I beta, D. The answer is option D, where A, B, C, D, alpha, beta are all constants. Are all real quantities. We have already studied that for unitary matrix, A into A dagger is equal to I, and A dagger is equal to A inverse. So A inverse will be nothing but A dagger. A dagger means what? Transpose and conjugate. So you do the conjugate first. That means what? I will be changing to minus I, and then the transpose, that is row, will change to columns, and then you get A inverse. So that is option D. So then in part 2, we looked into some different types of matrices. In this part 3, we'll begin with eigenvalues and eigenvectors. The eigenvalue equation is given as A x is equal to lambda x. Now what are these terms? This x is the eigenvector. This x is also the same eigenvector. This lambda is the eigenvalue. This is a n by n square matrix. This x is a n by 1 column matrix. This lambda is a constant which can be either real or purely imaginary or a complex number. This x is again n by 1 column matrix. Now what this eigenvalue equation is trying to say? It says something like some transformation A transforms the eigenvector x and scales it by a scale factor lambda. Now if this eigenvalue is a positive value, then the magnitude of x will change. That means it will stretch, but the direction will remain the same. But if this lambda is a negative value, then the magnitude will obviously change, but the direction will also go in the opposite plane. So thus we can say for each corresponding eigenvalue, we have a corresponding eigenvector. Now this equation can also be written as A minus lambda I is identity matrix into x is equal to 0. This is a homogeneous equation. Now to find the eigenvalues, that is to find the value of lambda, we use determinant of A minus lambda I is equal to 0, where this equation is known as the characteristic equation. So here A is this matrix, lambda is the eigenvalues. That means after solving this problem, after solving this equation, we'll get the different values of lambda, that is these eigenvalues. So in problem, sometimes it may also ask you to find the non-trivial solution. Then at that time you can also use determinant of A is equal to 0. So now we used this characteristic equation to find the values of lambda, that is these eigenvalues. Now what if we want to find the eigenvectors, that is the values of x? For that, what we will do is first find the characteristic equation, next put those values in this homogeneous equation. As you put the values of lambda, you will get the corresponding values of x. That is how we find the eigenvectors corresponding to given eigenvalues. Now the set of these eigenvalues, let's say for an n by n matrix, we'll have n eigenvalues, so lambda 2 up to lambda n. The set of all these eigenvalues is called as the spectrum of A. And the largest eigenvalue in magnitude is called as the spectral radius of A. Now these eigenvalue sets are always unique. The eigenvector component relation is also unique, but the corresponding eigenvectors of A, that is x, may or may not be unique. The eigenvalues can be either non-degenerate or degenerate. Non-degenerate means they will have different eigenvalues. That means, let's say if you are having a 2 by 2 matrix, so the eigenvalue can be either 1, 4, or like different values will be present. We'll get different values. And if the eigenvalues are degenerate, that means they will have the same eigenvalues. Same eigenvalues in the sense it can be like 2, 2 for a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, the eigenvectors corresponding to non-degenerate eigenvalues are always linearly independent. Okay, and the eigenvectors corresponding to degenerate eigenvalues may or may not be linearly independent. That means they could be either linearly independent or linearly dependent. So in problems, when they ask you find whether the matrix or the given vectors are linearly independent or linearly dependent, what you do is you first form a matrix of those vectors and then you take the determinant. If they are linearly dependent, then the determinant will be equal to 0. But if they are linearly independent, then the determinant will not be equal to 0. And if the eigenvectors are linearly independent, then these eigenvectors, they form a basis. The eigenvectors corresponding to non-degenerate eigenvalues of real symmetric matrix or Hermitian matrix or orthogonal matrix or unitary matrix are orthogonal to each other. I'll repeat again. The eigenvectors corresponding to non-degenerate eigenvalues for real symmetric matrix or Hermitian matrix or orthogonal matrix or unitary matrix are orthogonal to each other. Now we'll look into some of the properties of these eigenvalues which are kind of which will help in solving problems and like reducing the time which you require for solving problems. Okay, so we'll look into the properties now. The trace of A is nothing but the sum of the eigenvalues. Okay, and trace of A, as we saw in the previous videos, that it is also the sum of the principal diagonal elements for square matrix. And the determinant of A is the product of the eigenvalues. Any square matrix A and its transpose will have same eigenvalues. For a real matrix, if lambda is the eigenvalue, then its conjugate lambda star will also be its eigenvalue. Now lambda A plus B is equal to lambda A plus lambda B. That means what? When you do addition of the two matrices and find the eigenvalue, that is equal to the sum of the eigenvalues of A and B if and only if A and B commute. Commute means if A comma B commutator is equal to 0. We have seen commutator in the previous videos. Now let's say you have a matrix A with eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2 up to so on lambda n. Okay. Now if you multiply the scalar if you multiply the matrix by a scalar k, then all the eigenvalues will also be multiplied by the same scalar. So the eigenvalues will then become k lambda 1, k lambda 2 up to so on k lambda n. If you take the if you raise this to some power, okay, let's say if you take the matrix A raised to m, then all the eigenvalues will also be raised to the same power. So this will have the eigenvalues lambda 1 raised to m, lambda 2 raised to m up to so on lambda n raised to m. Now if this matrix A is invertible, that means A inverse is possible or exists, then this A inverse will have eigenvalues lambda 1 inverse, lambda 2 inverse up to so on lambda n inverse. That means what? 1 by lambda 1, 1 by lambda 2 up to so on 1 by lambda n. And when is a matrix invertible? When is this inverse possible? A matrix A is invertible if and only if it is having non-zero eigenvalues. Now if we are having a real symmetric or Hermitian matrix, then its eigenvalues will be, that is lambda, will be either a real number, or complex conjugates of each other. For a real skew symmetric or skew Hermitian matrix, the eigenvalues will be either 0 or purely imaginary quantities. For a real orthogonal or unitary matrix, the absolute value of lambda is equal to 1. For a diagonal matrix, that means only the diagonal elements will exist. Upper triangular matrix, that means diagonal element and the upper triangle exists. Lower triangular matrix, that is the diagonal element and the lower triangle exists. For these, the eigenvalues is the principal diagonal elements. For idempotent matrix, which is nothing but A square is equal to A, the eigenvalues are either 0 or 1. For a nilpotent matrix for which A raised to P is equal to 0, the eigenvalues are always 0. For an involuntary matrix where A squared is equal to I, the eigenvalues are either plus 1 or minus 1. Let's say we have a matrix B which is such that it has rows or columns which are scalar multiple of a particular row or column. That means it can be of the form 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9. So what is this? This is 1, 2, 3. Multiply this row by 2, you will get 2, 4, 6. Multiply this row by 3, you will get 3, 6, 9. If a matrix is in this form, then its eigenvalues are always, one eigenvalue will be the sum of the principal diagonal elements and the remaining eigenvalues will all be 0. So the one eigenvalue of this matrix will be 9, 10, 14. This value and this value, sum of all these values. It will be 14, 0 and 0. And if we are having a matrix A which is such that all elements of the matrix are equal to 1, then like this 1, 1, 1, 1. Then this, it is a 2 by 2 matrix. So one eigenvalue will be n, that is 2. The other eigenvalues will be 0. If this is a 3 by 3 matrix, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Then we'll have one eigenvalue will be n, that is 3, and the other two eigenvalues will be 0. These things come in handy while solving the exams. So for a matrix A, which is a n by n matrix with all elements equal to 1, the one eigenvalue will be n and the all other eigenvalues will be 0. These will be n minus 1 terms. Also, for a matrix A of order n by n with all elements equal to 1, its e raised to a can be written as I plus e raised to n minus 1 by n into a. You can remember this formula, it saves a lot of time. Okay, we'll stop here for now. Time for some problems. The question is, the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors of the matrix 5, 4, 1, 2 are. That means you have to find both the eigenvalue and the eigenvector. And the second question is, a real traceless 4 by 4 unitary matrix has two eigenvalues minus 1 and plus 1. What are the other eigenvalues? So I hope you will be able to do this. So again in the next part, part 4, we'll continue with eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Till then, take care. Peace be upon you.